Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how a beloved animated movie became one of the biggest, most successful stage productions in history.
Okay, let's just dive right in. It's kind of hard to imagine now, but back in the day, the 1994 animated film wasn't exactly seen as a guaranteed hit inside Disney. I mean, think about the pitch. It's basically Hamlet, but with lions. A cub gets framed for murder by his uncle, all set to the music of Elton John. It definitely sounded different.
In fact, get this, the studio's A-team, all the top animators, literally bet on another project. They all thought Pocahontas was going to be the big, prestigious, Oscar-winning film. So that left The Lion King to this sort of B-team of passionate artists who were totally ready to take those risks.
But that little movie, the one the A-team passed on, well, it didn't just succeed. It absolutely triumphed. It went on to rake in nearly $1 billion worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing film of 1994. It wasn't just a hit, it became a full-blown cultural phenomenon, a masterpiece.
So, the film's monumental success created this almost impossible question for Disney. How in the world do you create an encore for a masterpiece like that? The answer, as it turns out, wasn't going to be on a movie screen.
The answer was to take it from the screen to the stage. But, and this is the really important part, the idea wasn't just to copy the film. The goal was to completely reinvent it, to create a totally unique theatrical experience that could stand all on its own.
And that right there was the huge challenge. It was this puzzle that, normal theater just couldn't solve. You can't just put actors in fluffy animal suits. That would look like a theme park show. And the sheer scale of that wildebeest stampede, it seemed completely impossible to pull off live.
The solution came from the incredible, groundbreaking vision of director Julie Taymor. Now, she was known for her really experimental work with puppets and masks, so for Disney, this was a huge leap of faith. But boy, did it pay off. She would go on to become the first woman in history to win a Tony Award for Best Direction of a Musical for this very show.
So here was her genius idea. She called it the dual event. Instead of trying to hide the mechanics, hide the puppeteers, she did the exact opposite. She put the human performers on full display, right alongside the puppets. You see the actor's face and the lion mask. You see the person's legs and the giraffe's form. It becomes this incredible fusion of human and animal that's really a celebration of what theater can do.
And the changes went way beyond just the staging. Taymor and her team actually deepened the story itself. Rafiki, for instance, was changed from a male character to a female one, adding a powerful female presence. And they added these amazing new songs, like Shadowland, which shows Nala's agonizing decision to leave the Pride Lands, a whole scene that you don't even see in the movie.
So with this new, incredibly bold vision in place, the show was ready to take on the world, starting with its debut in 1997. The big question was, would audiences really embrace something so different?
The answer was a massive, resounding yes. After a successful tryout in Minneapolis, it opened on Broadway and was an instant sensation, and it has been running ever since, becoming this absolute fixture of New York theater.
The financial success that came next is just, well, it's staggering. On Broadway alone, the show has grossed over $1.9 billion. Let me just repeat that. That makes it the highest-grossing production of all time, not just for a musical, but for any show ever on a Broadway stage.
And its staying power is just as impressive as the money it's made. Right now, it's the third longest-running show in Broadway history. To get there, it had to outlast legendary shows like Cats, which just cements its place in the history books.
So, it's a huge hit with audiences, making tons of money. But what did the critics think? Well, they loved it too. The show was the toast of the 1998 Tony Awards, where it snagged 6 awards, including Taymor's historic win, and of course, the big one, Best Musical. But this phenomenon was way too big to stop at Broadway. This was a story and a production that was absolutely destined to conquer the entire globe.
Okay, just try to wrap your head around this number. To date, over 114 million people have seen this musical in productions all over the world. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire population of Germany. It's just incredible.
And these productions became their own huge events. In London, it's been a staple for over 2 decades. In Hamburg, Germany, you literally have to take a special ferry just to get to the theater. In Japan, it's a historic hit. And maybe the most meaningful of all, the Johannesburg production featured an entirely South African cast, bringing the story right back home.
And, that global success is no accident. It's rooted in this deep, deep commitment to cultural authenticity. The show uses 6 different indigenous African languages. And get this, there's even a rule that most productions have to have at least 6 South African performers in the cast. That's how they make sure the soul of the story stays true to its origins.
So, what's the secret sauce here? Why has this musical lasted for over 25 years, captivating whole new generations long after the movie came out?
A huge part of its legacy comes from the fact that it chose to expand on the movie's themes. It's not just a copy. The new songs and scenes give characters like Nala and Simba so much more depth and agency, making the story richer and more powerful for adults, not just for kids.
And then there's the music. It's infused with this powerful, authentic African choral work from artists like Lebo M. That iconic opening chant, I'm telling you, hearing that live in a theater with those voices all around you, it's breathtaking. It's a character all on its own.
And that's really the genius of it all. Julie Taymor didn't try to replicate the movie. She created a unique, tangible, shared experience. The sight of a giant elephant puppet walking down the aisle right next to you, operated by 4 actors, well, that's a kind of magic you just can't get from a screen.
So, how does the story become a global tradition? I think The Lion King gives us a pretty powerful answer. It's not just about telling a great story once. It's about having the courage to reinvent it for a new stage and in doing that, creating a circle of life that is all its own.